What's up, YouTube? And today I'm going to be talking with the microphone right up to my face because I want the audio to be perfect, because this is an important message, guys. So the message today is that Bitcoin, I don't know if you guys seen the cup yet. Look at that. Ooh, Bitcoin, baby. Bitcoin is going to be one of the greatest performing assets of the next 10 years. Why is that? Well, let me sip my coffee and I'll tell you why. That's delicious. Okay, I'm going to tell you why, guys. Because Michael Saylor, he says that energy can neither be created nor destroyed. It can only be transferred. Now, that's a property of energy, right? It's a property of matter. And so there is going to be a wealth transfer. Everybody talks about the wealth transfer. Everybody talks about basically, a transfer. So I think there's going to be a monetary transfer of energy. That's all monetary. That's all money is. Money is a measure of stored energy, right? You work your 40 hours a week, you get paid, and then by the end of the day, you have this stored energy, whatever you have in your bank account, and that's basically, what you have. It's stored amount of energy. Anyways, so everyone's saying Bitcoin's so expensive these days, right? Bitcoin's this expensive. Oh, I can't buy a coin. I can't buy this. Can't buy that. That's bullcrap, and I'm going to tell you why. It's bullcrap because they said the same thing about Amazon. They said the same thing about Apple. So let's just do Amazon to give you a little perspective. So the first 10 years Amazon was around. Yeah, it had the whole dot-com crash and all that. But had you stayed invested for the first 10 years, you would have made 100% on average every year for 10 years straight. Now, does anybody know how much money that comes out to? Well, I'll tell you. 50 grand, if you invest 50 grand in Amazon at that rate, you would have made $21 million off an initial investment of $50,000 in Amazon, right? That's a lot of money. Okay, I hope my math's right there. I'm gonna have to check it, but anyways, so that's pretty much that's a good return, right? Now, after the first 10 years, everybody thought that, it's too expensive. You can't go ahead and buy Amazon because it's too expensive. And what did they do for the next 10 years? 40% compounded annual return for the next decade after the first 10 were 100%. Now, you have these things, right? These trends, right? You have these stores of energy and this momentum cycle of things that accumulate wealth, generate money, and they attract money and attract investment, and they keep on going. It's like you put a snowball, you have a little snowball, you start, and then you roll it down the hill, and what ends up happening? I mean, it rolls off into be a huge snowball and possibly an avalanche. It's the same thing with money and investments and all that. So everybody says Bitcoin is the most expensive coin, and I get it. It is the most expensive coin. But guess what? We shouldn't even be measuring Bitcoins as a Bitcoin anymore. Honestly, we should be starting to get to the Satoshi level. Now, Satoshis, they're a smaller unit of a Bitcoin. Basically, one Bitcoin is 100 million Satoshis. And Fidelity actually put out a report this summer. Some of their analysts, they think that, each Satoshi is going to be worth $1. And if that's the case, in the future, that means that Bitcoin's going to be worth $100 million a Bitcoin. And you're going to be measuring it by Satoshis. Okay? So now Bitcoin, I think, is going to be one of the better performing assets over stocks, real estate, and bonds, and obviously bonds. Out of all that stuff, Bitcoin's going to be, in the next 10 years, it's going to be a really good performing asset. I think it'll hit 500K in the next 5 years. In the next 2 or 3, it's going to be over 180 for sure. And in the next 10, it'll probably be to 10 to 12 million, maybe $8 million to 10, $12 million a coin. And then and beyond, after 2035, probably looking at $100 million a coin. So, I don't expect Bitcoin, to keep going at a clip that it's been for the last 10 years. The last 10 years, it's been over 200% cumulative for the last decade. But everybody says it's expensive, the same thing as Amazon. Now, if it only does kind of like maybe a 60 or 70 or 80% return for the next 10 years, We're talking about a lot of money. And actually I did the calculation at 100% returns. We're going to be at $12 million a coin in the next 10 years. So that's pretty nice. So if you can figure out a way to get a coin, well, guess what? Now you're going to be a millionaire. You're going to be a multi-millionaire. And I get it. Everybody says, oh, but money's not going to be the same because of inflation. So $1 million today is not going to be the same as $1 million in 10 years. And I agree. But wouldn't you rather have $1 million or $10 million or something close to that instead of $0 or zero? And the whole thing, let's break it into this. The whole thing of measuring things in dollars. There's a lot of investors out there that say, don't measure things in dollars anymore. And I agree. I think forget measuring things in dollars. Measure things in other terms, right? In Bitcoin, I think Bitcoin, because it's an unadulterated, it's an unfettered, decentralized, only true decentralized coin, by the way, only true decentralized coin is Bitcoin, because the creators don't even have control over it anymore. It's the miners and the people that have the coins that get to vote and make changes to the protocol. So we're looking at a disruptor technology right here, and it's basically a store of energy. We're gonna store energy into Bitcoin. And then it's gonna keep accumulating. And not only that, think about this. Think about El Salvador, who put a freaking, figured out how to harness the energy off a volcano, the heat that's coming off the volcano, to run mining rigs. And now they're harnessing the energy. It's going back into the Bitcoin network. They're getting coins back for this. And then they're giving them to their people. I mean, talk about energy saving, in my opinion, because we're going to use energy that we could never use before. And there's going to be places that have so much energy, solar energy in the freaking desert, or wind in these places that they couldn't use before, and in these really desolate areas, and some of these poor countries. And guess what? Then they're going to get off the dollar standard, and the dollar standard is trash. It's just the cleanest shirt in the freaking hamper, is what Peter Schiff likes to say, right? And the crazy thing about it is Peter Schiff about 2 days ago, maybe yesterday, went on Fox with Patrick Bet-David, which I'm a fan of both. To be honest, I'm a fan of both those guys. Are amazing what they do. Peter Schiff's a really smart economist. The problem with Peter Schiff and his theory, and he kind of got beat out as far as the debate went from Patrick Bet-David. But the problem is that cryptocurrencies are the future, and they're disruptors, right? So if you have a disruptor, then it's always gonna beat everything out. Look at Amazon. Look at Apple. Apple disrupted the music industry, and then now what? CDs usually cost like $12. Now you can stream music for free. You know what I mean? So you just, and look at the books and all the shipping and everything like that. Amazon dematerialized that, right? Like Michael Saylor likes to say, everything is dematerialized. So, for the last 50 years, gold and silver, and I have a little bit of gold and silver. I invest in gold and silver. I get it. Gold and silver is the Armageddon. It's the world's ending. But in the last 50 years, it's only, compounded 2.8% annually. And I don't want my money to make 2.8% annually, because you're losing to inflation. And everybody knows inflation's a thing. And then, Cathie Wood and ARK Invest and all these people, they think that there's going to be deflation. And I think there might be some deflation. We're in a crazy, unprecedented time where there's so many things that are disrupting technologies, disrupting the way we work, disrupting the way we do things, that there's no, it's just, if you were going to put your money in something, you got to kind of go for it, right? But you kind of got to go for it with something that is going to be good. Now, to take a little side note, on a little side note here with a little tangent, other than Bitcoin, because I love Bitcoin, obviously. I was able to acquire a Bitcoin due to real estate investing. So I really didn't even have to use my own money. I kind of just used the money that I made from real estate. And I want to make a video about that, how to get a Bitcoin or how to get cryptocurrencies or even save money, pay things off, student loans, whatever, through real estate without actually having to even save money. Because that's the best way. Because I'm in the military, so like my salary is obviously not going to afford me a Bitcoin. But through investments, you can afford Bitcoin. Now, back to my side tangent. My side tangent. Now, we have to look at the greatest inventors and the greatest minds and the greatest geniuses of our time. Elon Musk being one of them, right? The people that invented PayPal. I know Elon Musk was a part of that team. Larry Ellison with Oracle, and you got the brothers who created Google. So and Jeff Bezos, right? Even though maybe he's not on the same IQ level as Elon Musk, or whatever, as far as inventions, but I mean the guy's a genius when it comes to business. So you have to follow these minds. Now, if you look at somebody and you can tell me what they are, a genius, somebody who has a vision, somebody who can create, and who has no bad intentions, that only wants to change the world, in the crypto world, who comes to mind? For me, the person that comes to mind is Vitalik Buterin and what they're doing with Ethereum. And now, I don't know how the NFT space is going to go, the metaverse and all these things. It's so fast, it's so high speed that it's hard to keep up with it. So I kind of try to tune in on some of these channels and try to learn as much as I can. But if you can just look at somebody and say, hey, we're going to follow a team captain here, because any of the other cryptocurrencies, basically, that's what you're doing. You're betting on a team. The number one genius, or one of the top geniuses, in my opinion, if you just look at him and hear his speeches and hear him talk, is Vitalik Buterin, which is probably why Ethereum's the number 2 cryptocurrency out there. And if it had any chance, if any other cryptocurrency had any chance on flipping Bitcoin, it would be Ethereum. And people think that Ethereum's not as expensive as Bitcoin. Everybody, that's a big argument, although that doesn't really matter as far as when it comes to value. But Ethereum, it has a big chance to be a huge disruptor in the crypto market industry and the technology industry. And I truly believe that that's going to be a great investment and probably outperform Bitcoin from here on out for the next 10 years. So now that I've gotten my Bitcoin and I'm letting that ride, I have it in BlockFi. I get my percentage off that. It pays you a little interest every month. Actually, it's on a daily basis, so I get a little bit of accrual every day. Now I'm building up my portfolio in Ethereum, and now's the greatest time to build up your Ethereum. And as things start coming down, I don't know how much further things will go. Maybe things will go on flash sale. I don't know. Everybody, and this is the thing, everybody is predicting that the economy is going to crash. Inflation is going to go too high. They're going to have to raise interest rates really crazy. In the next couple of years, I'm telling you right now, we're looking at boom time. Boom town. Because this is the thing. Every time there's an uncertainty, fear, uncertainty, doubt, right? Then things always boom. Look at 09, 2010, 2011, 2012. In those times, right after 08, and 2020 could have been in 08, right? They just printed way more money and unprecedentedly than they ever have in their, before. So we recovered again, just like 08, just like in 09. We went right back to where we were at. Things cooled off because everybody's so uncertain. Maybe even went down a little bit. People are scared it's going to be another thing, another crash, another correction, another this, another that. Okay? And then what did we do? We crushed it. And if you were invested in anything, and at that time it was stocks, right? It was real estate, which I like real estate today. It was real estate and it was tech stocks. And it crushed it. What has the opportunity today to crush the next 10 years, the next leg? It's the new tech stocks, cryptocurrencies, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to buy some real estate, because in America you can buy real estate with very little to no money down, and just let inflation ride and let the markets ride and all that. And then we're going to invest some of that money and some of our little bit of money here and there. We're going to invest that into cryptocurrencies. And that's going to outperform, because look, let me tell you guys something. Let me tell you something, folks. Most everybody here, if you're not a multi-millionaire on YouTube or have some crazy business or doing whatever, you're on a regular salary, right? Most everybody. And I consider myself fortunate to be in the military and to get a monthly, check every year, a monthly check every month, and But the truth is that the salary, like Kevin O'Leary says, is a drug. So we have to figure out a way to make money while we sleep. And so we're not going to work for the rest of our lives and work till we die, right? So what did I do? I bought a house. I used a VA loan, bought a house. It was a house that I was living in. The market appreciated. I sold it, and I was able to buy a Bitcoin with that. I have to have a house anyways. We all have to have a place to stay, right? Now, is that a little bit of luck? I'm sure it's a little bit of luck. But it's also a little bit of, going out, doing the research, buying a house, and finding some, a good investment. And it wasn't the best investment. I know people that made more money than what I had. But, I had enough money I put a little bit in savings. I put a little bit in, paid some stuff off. And then I was able to even buy a Bitcoin and some Ethereum with that. I already had some Bitcoin, but it was able to complete my coin. And I even bought that coin, the last part of that coin, in the upper 50s. So I'm down on that one right now. But it doesn't matter to me. And the reason why it doesn't matter is because Bitcoin and the cryptocurrencies are the biggest wealth transfer of our lifetimes. I'm 32 years old. I'll be 33 in a couple days. And guess what? Right now, all the young investors, all the young people out there, now's the time to be investing your money for the future. You have to have an emergency fund, right? That's where I agree with Dave Ramsey on. But you have to have some kind of money, something making you money, and you can't look at it, right? You can't look at it. You have to just say, it's like if you buy a house. If the house goes down 10 grand in a year because you paid a little bit high over the market, you're not going to say, oh, in 5 or 10 years, I'm going to have to sell this and I'm going to take a loss now. No, in 5 or 10 years, it's going to be more than what it is now. That's just the way the world works in America. And if you don't realize that, and you're stuck on your salary, and you're trying to save $50 or $100 in savings to pay off your student loan and your credit cards and this, that, and the other, you're just never going to get ahead. So you have to park some money into these high velocity money making, generating ideas, right? Amazon would have been one of them. Apple would have been one of them. The FANG stocks would have been one of them. There would have been a whole sector. Even S&P 500. I would rather you do that, paying off your high interest debts and then putting some money in that and a little bit of money in real estate, which is like, the super safe way to go, than, nothing at all. Because if you don't, and you just put it in a savings account, you're losing money to inflation every year, you're just never going to get ahead. So, and just to finish this video off, to give you just an example, one Bitcoin right now is at $48,000. Even if I was doing $1,000 a month, which on a regular salary is really hard to do, right? Because things come up and things do this and things do that, and you have to put money in savings, and it's just so much stuff, right? So if I put $1,000 a month, it would literally take me 4 years, 48 months to buy one Bitcoin. And you think that Bitcoin's going to be at $48,000 in 4 years from now? Heck no, it's not. Absolutely. In 4 years, it's probably going to be $500,000 a coin. So by the time I'm sitting there saving that $48,000, which the house saved up way faster than I did, way faster than I could, I was able to park that money into Bitcoin and Ethereum. That's my point. So you put you put your money into these engines that are working day and night for you, instead of, because we can only work so much, right? We can't make as much money as money makes. We cannot sleep. We cannot go without sleep. Money doesn't need sleep. Money just keeps going. So you put your money into these money generating engines, and then you park it into places that are even faster engines. And now you don't do all your money like that. I still have real estate. And you know what? I could sell all my real estate. I have a couple houses. I could sell them all, have them rented out. But instead, no, I want to diversify a little bit, because what if something crazy happens, and you have to plan for everything, right? But you got to put some money into these things, and Bitcoin and cryptocurrency and Ethereum. These are the best money-making wealth generators of our lifetime. Just like 10 years ago, the FANGs would have gave you would have made you a considerable amount of money. Real estate and FANGs would have made you a considerable amount of money. And they're probably still making money going forward. They're just not going to outperform cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrencies and the new technologies coming out will be the next disruptors of our lifetimes. So either get with it or stay broke, I guess. But I'm here to try to help you guys out. And I'm by no means the biggest guru out there, the best guru, not even close. There's a lot of people, a lot of pundits, a lot of people that have a lot of higher IQ, higher, market study ability and just able to decipher things, But that's not the point. You don't need an average crazy intelligence to do good in real estate and do good in stocks and to do good in investing in crypto. You don't need that. You put a little bit of money and you leave it alone. Put a little bit of money and leave it alone. But you do need to identify. You need enough intelligence to identify what these wealth generating assets are going to be, right? Some of the richest people I know, it's not because of the salaries they made. I met a lady the other day, and I know I'm going on a tangent, but I met a lady the other day. She made $200,000 a year with her salary. That's pretty good. And then almost half of it was taxed away. And then the other little bit, she was like, well, let me buy some land or this, that, and the other. She was like thinking about buying land. So we went into it, and I was like, okay, I broke it down with her. All right, let's say you buy some land, right? Let's say you buy some land. All right, that's cool. Now you're going to have to pay taxes on this land, right? Which is going to be, let's say, I don't know how much she wanted to buy, but let's just say she's paying taxes on the land, and she's not getting rental income on this land. And then she's got to wait, hopefully, until somebody wants to develop that land or she develops that land. So it's just not a great investment. And, even though she's making all this money, she really doesn't have any wealth built because she's not parking her money into money-generating assets, which is, how do you learn these things? Not through college. I have a bachelor's degree, and I didn't learn that. College kids are the people racking up debts. I got my college paid for because I'm in the military, and that's the whole reason I did that, because I didn't want to have $50,000 or $100,000 in student loans. It's silly. You know how you learn? You learn by following the greats. You learn by watching YouTube videos. There's more content and more information out there than there ever has been in the history of mankind. So I just hope you guys use this to your benefit. I hope this is helping you guys out. If you like the video, like and subscribe. I'm going to try to do these more often. I'm going to try to make these, available, just to give you some thoughts on market conditions and what investing is going well, just places to make some money so we can, because guess what? I don't want to work to the rest of my life. I don't want to work for the rest of my life. I like to have a nice beach house, a nice house in the mountains, maybe a house in a nice city that I want to retire in, and maybe a boat, maybe a plane, a couple nice cars, be able to take care of my family, send them to good schools, you know what I mean? Take care of my mom, my dad, and everybody else. So these are the things that you want to do now. You want to start doing now because time is your friend. And right now, we live in a time where somebody on TikTok or somebody on YouTube or Instagram or a 12-year-old, can make multi-millions of dollars, and there's no excuse to not. So I just hope we all get with it. I'm getting with it. I just finished my workout, by the way, and that's another video I want to make too, is how, getting fit in the gym and all that can help you out. Discipline in general can actually help you in other areas of your life, like investing and stuff like that. So, well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and until next time, see you later, guys. Bye.